Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor 44, episode, is it 5?
6?
6, episode 6. Let's do it.
Yes, but first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that at patreon.com/nerdtainment. Now, Sarah, I realized this just as we were going live, and I should have said something the moment before, but your audio sounds like it's coming through your earpods and not the microphone that you love to use. So I just want people to hear your voice crystal clear. And so I just want to give you the opportunity to change up those audio settings on StreamYard, and people will be hearing you loud and clear very soon. Am I stalling enough for you to make those changes?
Yes, I have made the changes. I hope you can hear the changes.
Yes.
Better late than never. Whenever you tell me to adjust, perfect timing. Yay, we got that fixed. I was traveling, so everything is messed up. That makes sense. But hey, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us on a Monday.
Hello, hello. Yes, thank you for bearing with us to do this recap.
But we still have to talk about Survivor any day of the week that we can.
Yes.
So we're going to do it.
This is an episode. This is the pre-merge, ends with the merge, but this is when they're all on one beach together. Remember that language about those idols?
When you're all on one beach, and we were like, what does that mean? But here we are. We're all on one beach, although they're not going to officially be merged yet. Like you said, we're going to start at Tikka. And actually, before we start, the editors just give us a music cue that is Carolyn going, as a boat is crashing. And like, what is happening on Tikka, and how fun are the editors having? You know,
they just do a whole segment of her saying "bag." Oh, big. I need my bag.
It's big.
Get it out of my bag.
And so Jam, who has an accent, is like, "It's bag.
It's bag." And she's like, "That's what I'm saying, bag."
Big. She's like, "You sound like a sheep, bag." I mean, what is this segment?
They just said, have the most fun you can have with Carolyn. Any moment that was comedy, I want it in the show. And they are delivering. It's so good.
They were like, look, when you're on Soka and Ratu, give us the strategy. When you get to Tikka, just whatever nonsense, cut Carolyn. It in, okay?
Yeah.
Got it. And then cut to Josh being like, can I please leave these two?
Please. He's like, how did I get stuck with Carolyn and Jam of all people? It is like, it's amazing because Jam himself is a big personality, right? And the fact that Carolyn is like outshining him just goes to show how rich her edit is.
It's so good. It's so good. But then we're going to hop over to Soka and we're going to get actual game stuff like drop your buffs.
Yeah. Right. And they learn that everyone is going to go over to Ratu Orange Beach. And we hop over to Ratu Orange, and Carson is immediately putting together that this is not the merge, right? This is when we are all on one beach. And he's saying, like, this is when my idol loses power. He's like, so look, everybody, you don't have to target me anymore because my idol's losing power now. Okay. And Carson is like just the resident, like, statistician, like he knows, he's putting all the pieces together, and he's just running down all the advantages, right? He's like, Lauren has an extra vote, she told us that, my idol's gone, Lauren maybe has an idol, Jamie has an idol, etc. He's just like running, he has all of the information.
Yes, he does have a fair bit of information. Lauren admits that she has the extra vote. But then I think that's funny to compare that edit to Jamie's edit, because once everyone does arrive on the beach, we get a lot from Jamie, who is like, I have the most information of anybody out here. I am the most valuable player. And if you don't see it, you're clueless. You're blind.
Yeah, you're in trouble if you don't see that I have value.
Whoops. Oh boy.
Yeah.
You're lacking just a little bit of
Just a little
information.
bit.
Yeah.
But everybody's like arriving. Now they're mingling for the first time. And I gotta say, it was a pretty quick moment, but this moment with Kane where he's nervous to get to know so many new people, I was like, not good. Something is up. I was feeling it right in this moment that Kane was going to be in danger this episode. I don't know what it was, but my Survivor Spidey sense was going off.
Going off. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Josh's Spidey senses were going off that he needs Carolyn and Jam Jam to be targets number one. Yeah. Especially Jam Jam. He is like, do not trust.
No.
Like clearly to everybody.
Not even
like they gotta go.
Not even being quiet about Jam Jam. No. Like he's like publicly holding a grudge that Jam Jam was, had voted for him and was trying to get him out. And Jam Jam is just like rolling his eyes. And he's like, Josh, get a life. Like
we were on different sides. Like your side and my
That's
side.
how
like,
this game goes.
Yeah. Why is this so personal? And Josh is like honest. He's like, I have a personal thing against Jam Jam.
Yeah. He says it flat out.
We're also going to see Josh completely lie to Brandon, though, about his idol. He's like, yeah. I've got the birdcage one. Yep, got that. And then cut to him being like, Jamie, I have a fake one. It is not real. What story are we doing, sir?
I cannot with all of his lies. He is not good. I mean, again, I'm sure the editors are having fun with this. And I'm sure you could cut it together a million different ways, but they are making him look like the worst liar in many seasons of Survivor. And he's just basically like, oh, I lied to Brandon, but I really like Brandon, but I'll just sort it out later. Like, I'll just fix that, whenever I can. But everybody is sort of becoming nervous about whatever Josh has, whether it's a real idol or the fake or whatever. Everybody seems kind of focused on Josh early on.
Yes. Then we see Jamie, Heidi, and Franny talking together because now Josh has just told Jamie it's not a real idol. So Jamie is going to, of course, not believe him. And she's like, I think it's a real one. It's probably real. Like he's making up stories. And I'm like, oh my God, of course. I mean, the man is a horrible liar, but of course we're not going to believe him when it's actually the truth. So at this point, the three ladies are like, let's just target Josh.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Carolyn's over here. She's like, I can't with the fake talk. I cannot. She likes sweating, but she does not like fake talk.
God. And she's like, I'm so uncomfortable. I like sweating.
Yeah.
Oh, is that weird?
And people, that there was just crickets, right? When she said that. And people were
like,
who is
yes,
this
it is weird. Actually, Carolyn, yes.
Incredibly
Why are you
weird.
Announcing that you like sweating? What?
And she's like, I just want to reconnect with Carson. Like, I trust Carson 99.9%. Josh is 94%. I trust Josh, but Carson is my number one guy.
That answer was so brilliant. She was like 192. Like literally doing math. Like I'm gonna have to 9. No,
right.
Okay, a little lower. Yeah.
She's like negotiating with herself in the moment.
Oh, brilliant! All the brilliance. But meanwhile, before we get the Three Stooges, which is where I think you're heading, we do get Jam Jam and Matt a little bit because Josh has been like, yeah, Jam Jam was going to vote me out. I used my idol, la, 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 la. So Jam Jam's like, oh, no. And Matt is like, look, we were already targeting Josh. Like, we're good to target Josh. And Jam Jam also like gives out a little bit of information about like, just wait. Carolyn's at a level 1. Yeah. Wait till she gets to level 10. And I'm like, yes, wait. Just wait.
Just wait. Yes. But Carolyn does finally connect with Carson at night. And he is saying, I'm so glad you guys are still here. Like the three of us can still work together, but let's do it secretly, right? Yeah. Like he wants Jam Jam and Carolyn, I think, to be his little like numbers, his little foot soldiers. Like I can work with you guys and nobody needs to know about it.
I love it. I had already thought that Carson was the glue for
Oh
these
yeah.
two crazies,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Lead him. He is, or let him lead you. He's smart. And you guys can work together. So I loved seeing this. I loved him being like, look, make up with Jam Jam.
Yeah.
Like, we need numbers,
Yeah.
okay? And I feel like they might be able to recruit some other people, like maybe Kane. They had that nerd vibe,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
I feel like under the radar, they could maybe do this. So I really loved seeing this
Yeah.
combo.
I also was like struck by the number of nerds who have made it to this stage in the game. Like you had Carson and Kane, and Matt and Franny are obviously still in it. And there's just like a lot of nerd energy in this like pre-merge situation. And after we get the Carson and Carolyn conversation, we also see Matt and Franny connecting at night. And they're basically like, do you like, if somebody were to ask, like, would you say that we're a couple? No. I would never say that. But like we are, but
Matt is like, look, I'm going to win a reward, but I'm not going to take you. And she says, I reject your hypothesis.
Yeah.
If that is not nerd love, I don't know what it is. I reject
know.
your hypothesis. This was adorable. They're holding hands in the dark. She's the only one that knows that he does not have a vote. This one tribal.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, the nerd love is it's a thing, y'all.
It's strong.
It is.
Yes.
Yes. But they're hiding
So
it, and people are not, they're not all picking up on it, as we've seen.
I know, but it's like only a matter of time before that comes out, because everybody on Soka Green knew that they were a duo, and it's like they're not going to be able to help themselves. They're just like impossibly cute, flirting with one another all the time. So
yes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we go to a challenge.
Let's go to this. This is almost like a reward because you're going to get your group that's safe and your merge fees. Yeah?
That's right. Yeah,
Let's
right. And the reason is, quickly we see exactly why they held no tribal last week when Matthew was evacuated, because they needed even numbers to break into this challenge. They needed 6 and 6. So we break into orange and purple. And the orange team has Heidi, Danny, Lauren, Jam Jam, Josh, and Kane. And then purple is Matt and Franny, Carson, Carolyn, Jamie, and Brandon.
Okay, at first look here, who are you thinking is going to win?
I honestly would vote for any team that has Danny on it. So I would have voted, and Heidi's on there too. So I would have voted orange.
I thought orange was a clear leader here because they had Danny, Josh, and Heidi, which seem like 3 strong players, as opposed to purple, who I was rooting for.
Yeah.
But they had all the nerds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which does turn out to be just fine in the end.
Just fine. Turns out when you end on a puzzle, it's good to have the nerds.
Good to have those nerds. He explains that like the losers of this group are not going to get their merge buff, and one of them will be up for being voted out. The other guy's obviously safe.
Right. Everybody's voting, but it's just 6 people who will be up for elimination this episode. So they're in their teams. The challenge is to dig up this giant boulder and then move that through this sort of like obstacle over these course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get a key, go up a wall with a net.
Yep.
And on a tree puzzle.
That's right. The tree puzzle that we've seen a few times before, for sure. Purple is leading early through the obstacle course. Again, the edit with Carolyn, she's just constantly in the way of the boulder, almost getting run over.
Yes. Jeff's like, once again, it's Carolyn again.
Yeah.
Getting run over. Yes. Like, why are we running
she's sort
Carolyn
of like
over?
Like swatting it like it's a gnat or something. She's like this giant boulder.
Yes. They're struggling to push, but she could just be like, get out of my way. So once we get to the walnut, though, is when it like the orange team is able to take the lead because purple had been in the lead. The key here, guys, Danny and Josh ran up there, hooked their legs, and were pulling people up.
Yeah. Yep.
They like flew through even Jam Jam, who looked like he was going to struggle going up. They were like, scoop you up,
boop,
get you right on
up. Yeah. And then we're seeing on the other team, they're just really struggling with Jamie in particular.
Jamie,
She's
yeah.
shorter and, has a lot longer to reach in order to make it to the net. And Brandon is, trying to sort of like lift her by the butt or the foot or whatever, but she's just not able to get up. And then the challenge with these things is that the more you do it, the more tired you get. And so it's like when I'm doing it the fourth or fifth time, it's even more unlikely that I'm going to make it up unless we try something sort of radically different to get me up to the net,
Yeah, I could not believe we were watching these people struggle so hard to get up that net when the other team had such a good strategy. Like, copy it. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
This is not working. It took them so long. Orange is on the puzzle first. They have this great lead. We've got Lauren and Heidi over there. But Carson says it does not matter.
No.
Just get me to the puzzle, guys.
Get me to the puzzle. Get me to the puzzle. And actually, Matt, you can step aside.
Yeah,
I'm just going to do this myself.
Just hand me the pieces. Cool.
And Jeff is like shook. He's like, Carson, another piece. Yeah. Carson
Jeff's not even saying purple. He's saying Carson.
Yeah, Carson.
Yeah, Carson. Oh, with another piece, Carson.
Yeah.
And
Matt's probably just like, it's like an assembly line and he's just handing pieces to Carson. And Carson seems to just be placing them as though he's built this puzzle many times before.
I mean, I know that the other people are a bit preoccupied and busy because they are also making the puzzle and we're in the middle of a challenge. But if anybody stopped to really think about it, they have to know that Carson is a clear puzzle threat. That is someone who knew that puzzle.
Single-handedly. Heidi
flew through it.
Pissed that they lost the challenge. Yeah. She looked so angry. I was laughing at her face. And then it's revealed that Carson 3D printed this puzzle and solved it 1,000 times at his house. So,
I mean, we know this, but Carson is doing a good job of not talking about it.
Yeah.
So they don't know all of this, although they should be suspecting it right about now because he blew his cover with that one.
Now, I'm curious how you feel about this, because for me, as a fan, I respect the work that he's put in and all of that. But I guess to me, it sort of speaks to maybe we need a little refresh on the Survivor side.
Speaks to production.
Yeah. And we shouldn't just be doing the same challenges over and over again, because I don't want people to win these challenges just because they practiced at home as many times as they possibly could. I want that element of the unexpected on Survivor. Yeah. So I want to see the contestants on their toes and not just oh yeah, I practiced this thing that I knew was coming 1,000 times. And so boop, I won.
Yeah, no, this is bizarre that Survivor is just repeating the same puzzles over and over again. This, we've already had seasons where people were like, I know this puzzle, I studied it. Yeah. Once you have one season, you need to be on alert. You have a second season, done, stop it. If they repeat any puzzles after this season where we've had 2 contestants say that they have built these things themselves, this is just on you, production. What are you doing?
And you could build another version of the tree puzzle.
Yes.
With completely different pieces. You know what I mean? You don't have to come up with a totally new challenge. No. You just have to mix up the way the pieces fit together.
Yes. He should not know exactly all the pieces that fit together.
Yeah.
You should not know that. Just build a tree and cut it differently. That's not hard.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to see another 5-piece Caitlin puzzle. You're never going to see that again.
No.
Right? So let's not have the same tree puzzle.
I know. And the same with the snake, different. Right? When Matthew was like, oh, I cut this whole thing and I practiced it in my backyard. It's okay, time for a new challenge.
Well, look, a snake one. A snake one, I don't know. Was it exactly the same? I hope not. I hope it wasn't exactly the same, but maybe it was. Maybe he measured it off of the television. But you can build a different snake maze and people just practice snake mazes, right? Practice slide puzzles. But don't do the exact puzzle Survivor.
Yeah.
This is not. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, good. We cleared the air on that, guys.
We did. So we go, Purple is going to go off to their feast, but
Yay!
we're first going to go back
Our
to
beloved Carolyn is safe,
yes,
and Carson.
and we
Love
get
them.
more great Carolyn content at this feast. But first, we're going to go back to camp,
We gotta
and
go to the losers.
we got to visit the orange team, the losers. Jam Jam very much thinks it's going to be him, and so much so that he jumps the gun a little bit. And he's talking to Danny and Kane, and he's throwing out Josh's name. And Danny and Kane, well, Danny specifically is like, well, I'm just going to defer to what everybody else thinks when they get back.
Danny.
And Jam Jam's like, why did I say a name?
Yeah.
I just had to open my big mouth.
Look, I don't hate this though. Like, I know in that moment, because Danny gave him nothing back, you feel awkward and you're like, oh crap.
Yep.
And Danny and Josh were on a tribe together. Like, you don't know, you might have overstepped. But Jam Jam has to say a name because he's right. It is probably him, right?
Yeah.
So please target somebody else. Throw a reason out there. He didn't really throw a good reason out there. He's just like, it's a personal thing. Me and Josh have a thing.
Yeah.
Blah. But I was really interested that Danny was so cagey.
I know.
Because I'm like, Danny, you're making calls. You're not waiting for someone else to tell you.
Mm-hmm. And then it's the three others, right? So then we see Lauren and Heidi and Josh chatting on, at camp because the other guys are in the water. And Josh is like on his Jam Jam tear, right? And he's insisting that it should be Jam Jam. And they're both sort of like, okay, I'm down. Like they're playing along a little bit more than Danny was. But then secretly, they're more worried about Josh than they are about Jam Jam. So Josh's fate sort of hangs in the balance there.
Right. They're definitely nodding along. And I think they probably are open to Jam Jam. But yeah, the question is, does Josh have an idol? Is he being shady?
Mm-hmm.
Heidi was already not sure about him before.
Yeah.
So then we get to go over to the winners. And
we do.
Feast.
Yes.
And Jamie and her wand is winning. Winning this.
I'm sure she was feeling like especially good because she did have that like kind of great emotional moment, when they finally won. And she was like, I'm just so grateful to these people for like lifting me up. And I'm so sorry that I didn't have enough myself and blah, blah, blah. So I think when she gets to the feast, she's like, thank God, because I probably would have been in danger had we not won that challenge. So she's like probably super relieved. But they're all sort of circling Josh at the Purple Feast, right? He is the name that's on everybody's lips, and they're just worried about this idol situation because people obviously have, conflicting information about what he actually has.
They do need a plan B in case he does have an idol. So Kane's name is going to come up at this point. Mm-hmm. But Carolyn is like, hey guys, I've seen it. It's not real.
It's fake.
They're like fell apart in our hands. It's so fake. I saw the first one and he used that one.
So that actually happened.
Yeah.
And now this one's fake. I'm telling you it's fake. So we actually don't have to worry about Josh's idol. No one listens to her. And let me say this. That is a fatal mistake.
Keep underestimating her. The underestimated queen. Underestimate her all the way till she's sitting at the end.
That's right.
Go right ahead, fellows.
That's right.
Do it.
And she is like obviously annoyed that they almost don't even respond to her.
They really don't. They really don't. Look, I think they still need a plan B. Like, good. Yeah. I hope it's, let's put the majority on Josh. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you still have to have a plan B. But It would have been nice if somebody was like, oh, good to know. Thank you, Carolyn. Yeah. Oh, you saw it? Okay.
Oh, really? Good. Oh, okay. Like,
that's awesome.
Even if
all right, then let's just throw a couple votes on Kane or whatever.
Right, exactly. Which, by the way, Brandon does throw out Kane as an alternative because he just, they're not vibing. He doesn't trust Kane. And that's kind of no surprise when Brandon was like, Danny, how about you and Josh? And like, we'll do our little muscle bro thing. And so no surprise that he's not connecting with one of the nerds. But now Kane's name is coming up. So it's kind of Kane, Josh, and Jam Jam are the three names that we're getting immediately. And that it's kind of how it goes the whole way through.
Right. Yeah. Right. So they're going to go back, right? Everyone's all together.
Right.
And we first do see Jamie sort of just explaining like Josh was the target. He is the main target here.
Yeah. And it's one of those great, like it's raining, right? And so they're all having to huddle together and have these conversations. There's not so much like sneaking away and having a ton of side conversations. Like there's just a group who's under the shelter, and then there's a group who's under the caves. And yeah, Jamie's just coming right out with it, saying Josh is the number one. But then we go over to the caves, and Franny's there with Josh, and she pitches Kane because she was at the Purple Feast.
Yes.
Josh was not. And
Right.
Josh doesn't put on his listening hat here, okay? When you hear a name that's not yours, go with it,
Yes.
right?
Go.
And
Go
so
with it.
Franny says Kane, and he goes, or Jam Jam. What if we did Jam Jam? And it's like, you're getting too personal here.
Yes. He's like, I mean, that's fine. Sure, Kane or Jam Jam. But like, if it's Kane, okay, fine. But also maybe Jam Jam.
Also Jam
And
Jam.
she's like, oh, okay, cool. Because really we're voting you out. But okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, sure.
Josh then is like, all right, well, if Kane is going to be the vote, I guess I'll make up with Jam Jam like half-heartedly for a minute.
After I just threw Jam Jam's name out to Franny. Oh, wait, no. I'm actually going to squash that beef with Jam Jam. So let me go take care of that. So he goes over to Jam Jam, and Jam Jam has had it with Josh. He's like, you are a joke, sir. Josh tries this whole thing about like, oh, we're good. And Jam Jam is like literally holding back laughter as he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're good.
It's like, oh, Josh is like, can we just do this? Jam Jam is having a whole other conversation about, I thought you were going to kiss me. I'm married.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you give me your idol? Josh is like, girl, what is happening? Like, they're having two separate conversations. Josh is like, just tell me you'll vote for Kanan, not me. Oh my God, this whole edit was unreal.
So funny. I mean, Jam Jam can't believe it, right? He's like, you seriously expect me to believe that you're trying to rally me around Kane? I cannot trust you. Get out of here. You might as well kiss me.
Yes. Then we go to his confessional, and the way that he said, okay, fine with Kane, but I want to vote out Josh and get the gratification. I was dead by that point. I was like, what is Jam Jam right now? Oh my God.
It's so good. It's so good.
God.
But yeah, Jam Jam is like singularly focused on like, I don't care what Josh says. I am voting for Josh, and I really want to see him go this vote. So
then we get Brandon, who's like, cool, Kane might go. We just can't have him find out. Cut to Carson being like, Kane, they're saying your name.
No, literally, someone's like, where are Carson and Carolyn? And they cut to Carson on the beach with Kane saying, your name's getting thrown out. And Brandon said it. And then Kane walks up to Brandon and says, Carson told me that my name came up.
Oh my God. And then Brandon's just like, yeah, they did say that. Like Brandon had to play it off like it wasn't him. He was like, yeah, oh, okay. But then he's going to run to Carson and be like, dude. And Carson's like, ah.
They're literally like running in a triangle where it's like, he said this, well, he said, and then I have to go back to you and yell at you for telling him. And then it's just ridiculous. And Carson is starting to get a little stressed out. But I think the fact that that there was no, it's just frustration with Carson, I think speaks to his position in the game. I think he's built strong relationships. And even with a mess up like that, it didn't turn into this like, well, we can't trust Carson. We have to get Carson out now,
Thank goodness. Yeah. I mean, I really liked that Carson was trying to pull Kane in. I was like, this is good. But clearly he did not say it either. No. Like, make it clear that this was a secret between them or something, because the fact that Kane just ran that back to Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was just not good for Carson or Kane, honestly.
No, honestly.
Either one. But this sends Kane on a a mission to now make sure that Jam Jam is the vote, not him, which is hilarious because Jam Jam was like, I don't want to vote out Kane. I like Kane.
Yeah, I know.
And Kane's like, sure, I'll vote out Jam Jam if it's not me.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh my God. Kane and Josh both targeting Jam Jam, but Jam Jam, I don't think is, I don't know. He's just so focused on Josh. He's not even really considering Kane as a thing. And I don't think he really knows to be threatened by Kane, but it's just absolute chaos. And Matt is just like, I just need y'all to sort it out because I do not have a vote going into this tribal. Somebody please figure it out.
As long as it's a lot of people voting on one person, that'd be great because please don't notice I don't have a vote. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yikes. There was so much chaos at this point that I had to remind myself that this is all for the plan B. I was like, I know Josh doesn't have an idol.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, it's still Josh leaving. It seems like this chaos is just for plan B, I guess. But the editors are trying to make us seem all sorts of confused because they're all confused.
100%. So we go to tribal and Kane he's like, I don't know what's what. I do not know what's happening. This is insanity, but I just have to rely on the people that I trust. And I guess that means like Carson. It seems like Carson is someone that he really trusts, but he just isn't sure what's going on. And Jam Jam is like, well, I am sure that me and my big mouth are in danger. Okay. I did too much
Just
talking.
like, do you talk too much? And he was like, let me tell you about how I talk too much. Look, I'm still talking. Jeff, did you want me to say more? Because here I am still talking. This is what I do. I still talk.
Oh my God, yeah. And he's like, listen, I am at a disadvantage coming from Tikka Purple because we all know we were a disaster. And I'm just one of the last, 2 Tikka Purples left standing in this game. So obviously he has like the least, number of relationships to sort of rely on in this, merge scenario. But Jam Jam's personality, I think, is kind of winning people over in this tribal because they're like giggling. It's very much that Elaine effect, right? Where it's like, I should be threatened by you because you're so likable, but I like you and I want to keep you around.
Yeah, they like him and want to keep him around, but because his name is being thrown around, he's not really a threat yet, right? Yeah. He's no Elaine threat yet because people are saying his name. So it is actually a decent combo for him. Yeah. Josh, on the other hand, Jeff also came from Tikka. Do you feel scared? And Josh was like, actually, Jeff, how dare you lump me in with Tikka? He's like, I'm originally Soka. So
I'm Soka Green, and I have such good relationships from that tribe.
We've all reunited, so don't you worry about me. I am fine.
All those Soka Green people are like, you idiot, we were targeting you. We would have sent you
home
if we could.
Like, look at Franny. She was like, that's not what y'all told me. What's he talking about? I was like, oh no, Josh has no idea. I was like, he's really gonna get blindsided here.
Yeah.
The only other notes I have here are overwhelmed, chaos, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yes. But I did love that Jam Jam was like, I won't eat for 2 weeks if we could just skip this vote, Jeff. Can I make a deal? He like puts on his negotiator hat. Yeah. He's like, let me just try this. And everybody's giggling and they love Jam Jam.
He's like, we'll do a double elimination next time. I won't eat for 2 weeks. Like, it's fine, right? Cool.
All good. Yeah.
Jeff's like, you're hilarious.
Yes.
No, someone will be voted out.
Someone is going to be voted out. But not by Matt. We see him have no votes.
Yes.
And then they do a close-up of the shot in the dark when Jam Jam is in the voting booth.
Yes, they sure did. I thought he might really have played that. Carolyn also lets us know that she grew up with weapon of sorts.
Yeah.
What?
It's like, oh, my dad had one of those. Oh, yeah.
I grew up with this.
Yeah.
I was like, what? A ball with spikes? What? Carolyn.
I bet you will never know more about that. That's it. That's all we're going to hear about that.
I have got to write that down.
I was going to say, write that down. You are going to have a million questions.
I mean,
for her.
I'm not going to get to talk to her until she's the winner of the season. So I will have a lot more questions to ask by then, but I'm going to try to remember. What is it that you grew up with?
What is that, Carolyn?
What weaponry?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our votes.
Let's do it. So first it's Jam Jam. And then it's Josh, and then it's Kane. So we actually got votes on all 3 of the names that we see thrown out. And then it's Jam Jam, and then it's Josh, and then it's Jam Jam, and then it's Josh. And how did you feel like it was going to go Josh at this point? I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure, but I was like, they're going Josh, right? Like, there's no reason they would have. I guess they could have accidentally messed it up.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're doing Josh, right? They're just going to go back and forth, and then Josh, which is what we ultimately get here.
That is what we get, yes. And
Jam Jam did not use a shot in the dark, obviously.
Correct.
And Josh didn't see this coming. He thought he had the votes. He thought they were so strong. So he did leave with his fake idol.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he walked out. And now it's merge.
Officially the merge. Everybody else gets their buffs. It ended up that Josh, Brandon, and Kane voted for Jam Jam.
Yep.
And Carolyn voted for Kane. Icon.
Yeah.
And everyone else voted for Josh.
Yeah. So, including Jam Jam, who was like, he
got his gratification.
Josh. Yeah, his gratification.
Yes.
But Josh also voted for Jam Jam. He didn't keep up his end of the bargain either to vote Kane. So the both of them are full of it, as we suspected. So I did speak with Josh last week, his exit interview. And when I asked like how he was feeling going into Tribal, why he didn't play a shot in the dark, he said, even though he knew his name had come up, he did think that they were so strong. He thought he had the numbers. So he was surprised. He also admitted that he's a very bad liar.
Yeah. I can confirm.
So check that out. If you haven't watched that exit interview yet, please check it out next week.
Kane feels like he's in Dungeons and Dragons. Yep.
All right. Yes. I hope that's a good thing. Kane, I hope it's good.
Yep.
Matt and Franny seem like maybe they're on people's radars.
Yeah, Lauren is noticing them. She's looking over at them. And then there's some sort of a twist. Somebody has no say in a vote or something like that. Of course, they're vague about what this twist is going to be, but I'm interested what that's
you have
about.
No say in who goes home. Is this the thing that we have seen where you choose out of the 3 boxes? What's this called?
Oh, I forget what that is.
They have been saved every single time. It has not gone wrong yet.
Yeah.
What's that called? I forget.
What is that called? But
they don't get to choose. It's because whoever like falls first out of the immunity challenge is stuck in that thing.
Yeah.
I can't believe I don't remember what this is
called. I'm blanking on the thing. What is it called?
Right. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes. There's like the skulls and there's like one box that's safe.
Right. And so that although if it saves them, which it has all of these past times, they do get to vote out somebody. So maybe that's not this, since he like flat out says you have no say in who goes home.
Yeah.
But oh boy, what is this twist? The rice thing, sit out of do or die. Yes, thank you. Is also the rice thing. If you sit out, you get more rice.
Interesting.
Blah, blah, blah. Right? Are those 2 different things? Anyway, do or die.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Yes.
The person with individual immunity gets no vote? Or they get the only vote?
Oh, that would be cool. Interesting.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm liking it too. Thank you. I asked them all for their one word, and their one words have been very interesting. I appreciate the feedback. All right, you guys, that is this week's episode. Thank you to everyone who joined us live in the chat. Really appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yes, and if you're joining us later, leave us a comment and let us know how you feel about Josh going home. What do you think this twist could be? And what is the future of this merge situation? What alliances are going to stick? Let us know what you think.
Yes. Good questions. Our schedule is back to normal this week, you guys. So David and I will be back on Thursday night to recap this week's episode. The ratings for this week's this what we're recapping right now will be tomorrow night with Danny McRae joining Chantel and I. And
fun.
then we will have this future episode this week's what I'm saying on Friday, back to our normal schedule. Okay.
Can I make a prediction before we go?
Please, yes.
I think Kane is going to go next.
Oh no.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because he's the last person on my draft team.
I knew you were going to say that, David.
And I have lost 3 people in a row now.
You were like the last person to lose someone, and then you went boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. So let's
You're Kane. We need Kane to stick out to the end.
I know. I want him to, obviously, but it's not looking good for me in this draft now.
It is not. Yes, we're very sad for your losses, but now we have to protect Kane.
I know, completely. At all costs.
Yes. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.